we have athletes that are born with very special traits. They're God-given.
Some of the strategies that you'd apply to these, amazing young athletes can be adapted to someone who is like a little bit older.
Making calculated choices behind understanding what's next.
Most performance between a great athlete and a really awesome athlete is defined by how well they recover. Welcome to Becoming Limitless, everyone. So if you're watching or listening today, I have a special one for you. Today we're diving into a topic that almost everyone in health, wellness, and performance has wrestled with at some point. Do we really need all the supplements sitting in our cupboards? Can one comprehensive daily stack simplify the process while still supporting performance recovery and long-term health? Well, to help answer that question, today I'm thrilled to be joined by Mike Guevara, better known as Mr. Do It Moving. Mike is a performance coach, movement specialist, speaker, and founder of GBG Hoops. He works closely with athletes and high performers to help them move better, recover better, and perform better. He is also a partner with IM8, one of the fastest growing wellness companies in the world, co-founded by David Beckham. Today we're going beyond marketing claims and taking a deeper look at the philosophy behind IM8, the ingredients, the science, who is it for, and perhaps most importantly, whether a product like this actually simplifies health or simply adds another supplement to an already crowded shelf. Mike, welcome to Becoming Limitless.
Man, that was a hell of an intro, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this space with you and hopefully educate some people on some things that can make them better humans and better operators and performers.
Amazing, amazing. No, I'm thrilled that you're here, and it's the introduction is well deserved. If anything, actually, there are a few things that I've missed, I think. There's no mention of NBA. There's like quite a few things that I've missed. I'm sorry about that. But when people discover you, you'll see like the people in our area, because I know you're incredibly well known in your geography. There are actually quite a few people that we share as followers. But many of them are out of this geography. So hopefully, more people from this geography will discover the amazing things that you do.
Thank you.
So while on that subject, can you just briefly kind of introduce, let people know here all the awesome things that you do?
Absolutely. So I'm a father, first and foremost. I have a 19-month-old son, so I'm
awesome.
Indoctrinating myself into the beautiful world of fatherhood.
What's his name?
His name is Kanji, Kanji, Kanji.
Oh,
yes.
Nice.
And he keeps me busy. That's why I say full time. I'm a husband, and I am a man of service. I have been in the performance space for 18 years now. What that means in a nutshell is I help people move better, perform better, recover better. And I've been doing that for a while, and I predominantly work within the NBA space, the basketball space. I do work with WNBA as well, and basically anybody who is willing to take the commitment to come into a very uncomfortable space with me is the people that I like to work with. And right now I'm currently in Houston, Texas, which is where the Rockets are, and I work with several Rockets players as well as a couple of WNBA athletes that are getting ready for the new team that's coming here called the Comets. And that's pretty much it. I own an app as well. It's called GBG Hoops, which is the logo that you see on my chest. And that stands for greatness breeds greatness. And that's just a microcosm of exactly what I stand for. I just want to be great for people so that their greatness can shine and elevate me in return. You know what I mean? It's a reciprocal relationship, and I love community. That's why I love being on this platform with you to build with you, to build with anyone who finds deep interest in this podcast, as well as anyone that's attracted to the life of performance. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I definitely, obviously, could take the whole day talking about myself, but I won't. And I want to get to the good stuff. I want to get to some things that will really help people and resonate with people.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, it's such a pleasure to have you. And I think we resonate on so many different levels, and I think that's why that we were brought together by the universe. So I'm glad that you're here. So let's dive through the deep end a little bit.
Let's go.
What are some of the biggest mistakes that you see athletes or active individuals making today in general?
I think that they don't take their off-court, out-of-weight room behavior serious. So, we have athletes that are born with very special traits. They're God-given, that allows them to play this game at a high level, the game of basketball, which means that they can get away with this behavior. They can get away with this thought process of, just waking up, not eating, or eating poor, not hydrating, or drinking poorly, and going to the court and being amazing, going to the weight room and being strong. But the problem with that equation is there's no longevity behind that. You're burning the candle at both ends, so to speak, and you will experience a setback. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So time and time again, when I get these 18, 19, 20-year-old athletes, teaching them these types of approaches to their profession is like pulling teeth, because they always say the same thing. Mike G, I wake up every morning, have a McDonald's breakfast sandwich, and go make 40 points, go score 40 points. So what do you talk? Why does that matter? And it's really frustrating for me, because I try not to emotionally attach to these athletes, to these people, but I'm a people person and I care. So I would say that would be the main mistake that I wrestle with the most, is trying to teach young people, young amazing athletes, how behaviors off the court truly define longevity and elite performance. Amazing.
Again, my whole thing is I center everything that I do around recovery, and I always say, and I hope you would agree or maybe correct me with this, is that most performance between a great athlete and a really awesome athlete is defined by how well they recover. So I don't know how true that is in general, but for me, I find that recovery is the backbone of all the effort that you do, is where adaptation happens, is where all the effort that you put in and turns into magic, basically. So what are your thoughts about this? Am I on the right track, or would you tweak that a little bit for me?
Yeah, I think you're hitting the bullseye right in the center. At this level, at any high level of sport, whether that's tennis, basketball, soccer, or the real football, I would say that the difference between the amazing great players and the good players is not physical. It's what you do in between matches. It's what you do off the pitch, and that's recovery. And I think if you can recover at a really high level, that's what's going to dictate the difference between being good for 3 matches in a row or being good for the entire season. And there's been documented instances where a guy like LeBron James, Cristiano Ronaldo, and the like have spent large sums of money every year on their recovery, on their performance, because they understand what it takes to get to that next match, get to the next series, and be at a high level for, a season long period. So I just think that, not all of us have that resource to be able to spend that much money, but it's the little things. It's understanding circadian rhythm. It's understanding how much diet plays a huge part in adaptation. Food is not just medicine. It also can be poison. And I think that if we can start to look at, now I'm not saying don't enjoy and indulge from time to time, but it's just understanding the give and take, understanding if I have this glass of wine tonight, it will affect my sleep tonight. What do I have tomorrow?
Right.
If I have this dessert tonight, it will affect my sleep tonight. What do I have tomorrow? So like just making calculated choices behind understanding what's next. And I think that the best players, the greatest athletes, they do that at a really high level, and it's just becoming more accessible with podcasts like yours. Information is everywhere. We have trackers, we have rings, we have all types of things that can help us go in the right direction. So to not delve into that type of science and understand that this does make a difference, I think is ignorant and a mistake.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, I don't know how much you know about me, but one of my areas that I focus on the most is healthy aging and expanding or extending health span. And that obviously, you know, it means everything, you know, from your mental health to your ankle health for stability to your muscle percentage to
Sure.
obviously nutrition and recovery and sleep and all of these different things, right? So I focus quite a bit, and a lot of the people that I work with, even though I have like from 22-year-olds, but I have all the way up to 80. So I work with all sorts of individuals, 80, I think I have 82 now.
Beautiful.
So I work a very wide range. I don't know if you've had any experience, because obviously some of my viewers or listeners are, you know, not young NBA, you know, incredibly, you know, athletic individuals. Do you feel that even though like some of these people like will blow you away, they certainly blow me away. Do you have do you find that some of the strategies that you'd apply to these, you know, amazing young athletes can be adapted to someone who is like a little bit older, like myself
Yeah.
or some of the people that I work with?
Yeah, the biological system is the same regardless of your, you know, athletic prowess, you know, whatever your genetic makeup, physiology is physiology. Now, what I will say is some people recover faster than others. That is a genetic predisposition, I believe. But behavior is behavior. You know, like I said before, the example of, you know, understanding what HRV is, heart rate variability. It's an objective measure that is now very, very common to anybody that understands health, because you have all these data trackers now, these sleep trackers.
Yeah.
The science says that the less variability between heartbeats, the less sympathetic stress is on the system. Sympathetic stress is fight or flight. This is the cortisol driven, I'm always stressed out type space within the body. The better we can start to drive more parasympathetic tone, which is higher HRV or less variability between heartbeats, the more recovered and the more effective sleep is. As we all know, sleep is the #1 recovery tool on the planet. Like there's nothing that trumps or is more effective than quality sleep. So the example that I used was the alcohol example. Alcohol is being proven to actually decline. The use of it is declining with this current generation. I think, you know, whatever it is, 2010 and up.
Yeah.
But which speaks to our older generation who still does enjoy. If you know that wine is going to drive your HRV down, which means that sleep, regardless if it's 6 hours or 8 hours, is going to be not as effective, you will be less recovered. That's something that we all can take with us and apply to our everyday lives. The drink of alcohol, eating late, eating sugar late, it's going to drive HRV down. You're going to have a less effective sleep. You're going to have poor sleep, which is ultimately the umbrella of recovery. So
Right.
this is just one example of how regular people, not even high level athletes, you know, people like you and I who are just trying to educate and help, we have to understand these types of things so that we can live within a length of time that is not only longevity, but also joyful, effective, and independent.
Right. Right. So I think we've touched on recovery, we've touched on nutrition, as so well put, that there's a direct, and it could be either poison or it could be medicine,
Yes.
and I love that because we're always kind of chasing the next hype or the next hack rather than looking holistically on everything, right? The next bit I want to touch upon is supplementation. So obviously, some of these guys that you work with, yourself, the supplementation plays an important role, right? There are certain things that
100%.
need to be supplemented and certain things that need to be supplemented because we're deficient of them, and other things need to be supplemented in order to keep us performing at a certain level, either to improve sleep or to improve our microbiome or to improve our energy production, to hydrate us, for example, and so on, right? So for a long time, there are people that would come to me right now and they would say, I'm taking 20, 21 different supplements, etc.
Right.
What do you do before you met IM8? What was your supplement regime like?
Yeah, so I try obviously to get a lot of my micronutrients, vitamins, minerals through diet. But just like everybody else, the ebbs and flows of life disrupts even
Yeah.
the most solid routine. Not to mention we travel a lot. Being a part of the NBA, I'm on a plane going to another state or another time zone probably at least 1 to 2 times a week, which means that how do I organize all of those supplements on a travel routine as well? And things drop off. So, but the main supplements I used to take was a multivitamin, a fish oil, a magnesium, a probiotic. I still take creatine. I still take amino acids, and I still take protein, which I feel like everyone should.
Right.
But I did have like a little stack that I would kind of put in those little pill caddies
Yes.
Monday, Tuesday through Sunday,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
fill them
yeah.
all up. And
Yeah.
it would take me about 7 to 10 minutes to get that thing full of every single pill or capsule I used to take. And it was a routine that I tried to stick to, but like I said, as a human being, you prioritize certain things, and if that doesn't get done, well, we'll figure it out. Hopefully, we'll have more
Right.
fruits and vegetables on the road. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was a thing, and now with me being a part of this beautiful company, IM8, I've actually been able to simplify a lot of that stuff. So it's been very helpful.
It's now just this thing, right? It's just like
Yes,
one.
sir. One little
So
sachet.
yeah. Or if you're really lucky, you'll have one of each of
Two.
those, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right, right. Absolutely.
So what is it about IM8 that attracted you to it the most? Like what we
Yeah.
know the problem it's solving. We know that it's putting it all together. We know that the ingredients are clinical, the clinical levels. I mean, tell me about what. I mean, I know why I like it. Tell me
Yeah.
why you like it.
Well, if I could just tell the quick story behind how I was introduced to IM8, is that okay?
Yeah, of course. I'd love that.
So Jason Stacy is a friend, a dear friend, because he is just an amazing human being, and you just want to be around people like that, period. Jason Stacy is the performance coach of Arena Sabalenka, world's number one in the WTA, and high level people always have something to offer, regardless of who they are, they just always are trying to give. And he is
Right.
one of those humans. And I always used to see him wear this hat, and I had no idea what it was. Nor did I ever think to inquire, like, what is that on his head? Like, what is this IM8 brand? But then I started to see other professionals in my field post about it. So now I'm starting to become intrigued, like, and admittedly, I used to take other greens, powders, or supplements or things that kind of resemble a supplement like IM8.
Right.
So he finally texts me and says, "Hey man, we got to get you on board." And I'm like, "On board to what?" He's like, "IM8." So he sends me a bunch of information. He gets me in touch with Miss Sam. Shout out to Sam.
Yeah.
And we just start. And then she's like, "You know what? Just try it." So she sends me a bundle. And the first thing that's most mesmerizing is like the beautiful branding. Like did they not do the best job ever about
Yeah,
making
I
this
know,
beautiful
right?
red? And like
I have like all
it's
sorts of
just
gorgeous things. Yeah.
it's beautiful. It looks like this
Yeah.
beautiful ruby case
Yeah.
that's being delivered. Anyway, so good job on that part. So it's just attractive to the eye. And then you get these cards that kind of explain who's a part of the um, I guess the board, the
Right.
people who are responsible for making the product the way it is. And it's
Right.
an impressive list of individuals. It's all types of doctors and Harvard professors and just high level people. And now you're just like, okay, this is for real. This is not a joke. And then you see David Beckham. Obviously, everyone and anyone know who's David Beckham in
Yeah.
my field. And now you're like, okay. And then you look at the ingredients
Mm-hmm.
and you see this cascade of just amazing ingredients at doses that you're just like, how did they get all this into this little packet?
Right.
And then lastly, you try it. So that's the kicker. How does it
Yeah.
taste? Because it's not about me at this point. It's about anyone that I serve. And this stuff
Yeah.
just tastes really nice. It's super easy to consume. You put it in some ice cold water and it tastes like juice. And there's multiple flavors and it's very easy on the palate. So I try it for about a week and I'll give you the short version of when and where I knew it was amazing. I drank. I'll go ahead and put myself out there. I had a night of drinking, not
Mm-hmm.
excessively, but a night.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good time. And I drank. I woke up not feeling at my best. I had a packet of IM8, and I'll tell you, 2 to 3 hours later, I felt perfect. Energy, ready to work out, my old effective self. So
Amazing.
I text Sam right away, like, "Hey Sam, is it is it normal that if you take IM8 after a night of drinking or a day of drinking, this is how you feel? Has this happened for you?" And she's like, "Anytime I drink, I'll take IM8 before I go to sleep, and I wake up feeling brand new." And I was like, "Okay." So then I just keep taking it, and sure enough, I'm feeling a difference. I'm feeling more energetic. I'm feeling lighter. And I'm already a pretty healthy individual, so it's hard for things to make me feel different. I don't know
Right.
if it's making a difference or not. If I believe it, it is, but I can't necessarily feel the experience. IM8, I felt it, and that's how I knew that this was something that I want to be a part of. I gave it to my wife. She felt the difference, and anyone that I've given it to, they feel the difference, and soon, within 2 to 3 days of taking it. So I was like, yo, I need to be a part of this. What do I need to do? And here we are.
Yeah, it's amazing, and some of the flavors, for example, like this one is acai and mixed berries, and this one is acai and pomegranate, for example, and then there are the new flavors also that are really awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, you were saying about like the incredible richness of it because it doesn't have any fillers, right? So most of the supplements that we get, usually have tons of fillers in them. That's why they're able to squeeze so many of these things in. And I'm just going to give you I know you know all of this, but just in case some of the listeners are not
Sure.
aware, it has like vitamins and minerals, adaptogens, antioxidants, probiotics, prebiotics, digestive support, functional mushrooms, amino acids, plant compounds and polyphenols, which is like really like cool, and recovery support ingredients and energy support ingredients. This is just in this
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
sachet. Like this
Yeah.
is literally what 25 different supplements that they're on
Yep.
your shelf.
Yep. And again, I'm always thinking about, okay, can I give this to my athletes? And
Yeah.
because it is NSF approved, meaning third party tested, meaning completely clean, anti-doping, NBA, NFL, doesn't matter, whoever's testing, it is guaranteeing me that my players are safe of taking this supplement. So
That's a game changer. Yeah.
that's a game changer because now it's unequivocally different. Like this is a certification that we must have in order to refer any type of product that's a supplement to our athletes because we don't want them to test dirty. And that was game changing. Secondly, the vitamin D, the amino acids, and the MSM. The
Yes.
MSM is the joint support. So
Yeah.
why vitamin D? Because I train athletes that are inside, out of the sun, almost 365 if you don't count vacations. So
Yeah.
vitamin D deficiency is a problem in basketball.
Yeah.
The MSM for joints,
Yeah.
obviously, this is knees and ankles every single day that we're trying to get these guys to feel better. And then amino acids, like, say no more. We can't get enough
Right.
supplementation of amino acids. So it was a no-brainer. And I'll tell you right now, I have my athletes take IM8 and collagen before every single workout because there's 1,000% daily dose in every IM8 sachet.
Yeah.
And the science says that you have to take collagen with a vitamin C supplement or orange juice in order for it to absorb. And
Right.
that's our routine. We do it every single day.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and then obviously there's the longevity stack, which is like pretty awesome too. You don't have to think about that side of things too. From CoQ10 to all sorts of beautiful stuff there too. But do you find do you or any of the athletes take any other supplements beside IM8? Because this is what worries
Yeah.
me a little bit. I don't think people understand how to use IM8 properly. So how do you use it yourself and how do you use it with your athletes?
Yeah.
And then maybe you can give some advice for the regular Joe there that is not an athlete like myself. How should I use this?
Yeah. So I think we have to understand the value behind supplementation and the reason why we should do it. Because it's not easy consuming the recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables, fibers, probiotics, prebiotics, fatty fishes, the omega-3s, all the things that we're asked to consume on a day-to-day basis, right? So if you can do that, wow, more power to you. And maybe perhaps you don't need to supplement anything, but I don't know a single person on this planet that can get everything that they need just through their diet. I'm sure it exists, but me personally, no, I do not know them. So me being one of those individuals, we have to supplement. We have to take a product or products that allow us to fill the holes where we miss through our everyday diet. Okay.
Right.
And I personally practice intermittent fasting. So I'll have my last meal at 8 p.m. by 8 p.m. And I won't eat until maybe 10, 11 a.m. the next day, which means my nutrition window is smaller, which means I need to jam pack as much good stuff from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Right. So that
Right.
also has to be taken into consideration when I'm approaching supplementation. Okay. I'm not having as much nutrition opportunity. So maybe supplementing makes more sense for me as well.
Right.
At the end of the day, some people hate taking pills. A lot of people hate taking pills. It's a chore to take pills morning and night or take 7 pills at once. So
And we
that's
talked
why
about the
IM8,
quality. Like we also talked about the quality. Like it's not
right?
just the pills, right? How would you know? Like
Yes.
contamination, like all sorts of stuff. Like there's so many. Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you, but I
No,
had
no,
to.
no.
You know.
You have to point that out because that's a
Yeah.
whole nother side of the coin that that I'm not even talking about that also matters. Like, are these companies NSF certified? Are they third party tested? Is exactly what they're claiming is inside of the capsule in the
Right.
capsule? That's a problem. That's a huge problem. I read somewhere that, these creatine gummies,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying any brands, but let's just say the creatine gummies, anything gummy, they actually tested to see what was inside the gummy, and it was like 98% sugar. 2% contained what it was claiming it contained. So
Yeah.
that now you're just wasting money. That's just stealing.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying all creatine gummies are like that, but that's just an example. No brands,
Right. Yeah.
no brands. But point being, to your point, you never even know what's inside the capsule. So that's why utilizing a shotgun approach that is almost hard to believe exists does. And that's called IM8. And you're able to fill the voids that you miss from your everyday nutrition based off of a busy life, running after kids, a stressful job, etc. You take this
Or an
one,
athlete. Yeah.
or an athlete, right?
Right. Yeah.
You take this one sachet and delicious powder, and now your bases are covered, at least. And for me personally, mine's first thing in the morning. I have been advised to take it with food, but you have to make it make sense. I want to get my IM8 in the first thing in the morning. I take it with collagen. I take it with a beets supplement for vasodilation. It makes my blood vessels a little bit bigger and allows for the nutrition to kind of proliferate throughout my system a little bit faster.
It's a great pre-workout, yeah.
And I'm buzzing. You know what I mean? I do enjoy coffee. So the caffeine component, it also is a nice little perk, but that's the way I take it. And I think that other supplements are necessary if you need that support. For instance, I lift weights. I'm extremely active. I take protein. I take creatine. So yes, I do take other supplements. But my point being is that I don't get all of my micronutrients, minerals, vitamins through my diet, through the foods that I eat. So yes, I supplement with IM8.
Yeah, I would just sort of, because most people obviously, as you said, it's hard to believe that you have everything that you need in this, right?
It is.
So they end up kind of getting like vitamin D and magnesium and zinc and selenium and vitamin and B complex and whatever. Yeah. There's a risk of oversupplementation. Like, you don't need anything. If you're taking, now obviously creatine is not in this, protein is not in this.
Right.
A pre-workout such as like a beet or a pomegranate kind of juice or something like that. That's awesome. Literally, you do not need anything. You shouldn't be taking anything else if you're on this. This is in my opinion, right? So you're getting all your clinical levels of what you're about for most people.
Sure.
And so that's it. Like, it blows people's mind that all of this has to go. Like, how many people do you know where they have cupboard full of different supplements, right? Every person that I know, you can't open, like, you will go to their kitchen and open a place and see like a cupboard full of all of different types. And with this, it's just, I think this is what the company came to solve. They wanted to, simplify supplementation and make it a one-stop. Do not think about it. Just, you don't have to worry about the quality. You don't have to worry about the amounts. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. And you don't have to worry about which brand should I buy. It's all in one place. We're doing everything for you. We're checking the quality. We're checking the ingredients, and we're upgrading them, as you've seen, right, recently.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, these high level individuals, they don't stop working.
Yeah. So if they find that there's new science or there's new sort of things that we know now, they immediately update their recipe, so to speak. So it actually makes more sense for most people, which is I think is phenomenal. So someone in the background is working for you to get the best possible
product to you.
Yeah, product to you. That's I think that's amazing.
It's hard to believe, but believe it. Believe it. I don't
Yeah.
stand behind products that I don't believe in. I
Right.
don't
Right. Same here. Yeah.
talk about things that I don't believe in. Believe it. And forget believing it. Feel it, experience it, and then believe it. But, like you said, quality, quantity, simplification, travel. So what about people who travel a lot, who are on airplanes a lot, in airports a lot?
Yeah.
What's a huge risk factor there? Getting sick, right? Because you're around people all the time, sharing airspace. Like
Right.
it's overwhelming sometimes, and people get sick often. But IM8 allows you to boost your immunity and actually become more resilient through these spaces. Sam was telling me she started taking IM8 2 years ago, and she's traveling around the globe, and
Right.
she hasn't gotten sick since. So she
Mm-hmm.
she faithfully takes her IM8 everywhere she goes, and that's the beauty behind it. Again, having the pill case, having the bottles of pill in your bag, like all that, like that gets clunky and stressful, and it just makes your entire routine feel a little overwhelming. But now you could just take, 7 sachets with you, put them in your bag, and you're covered. That's stress relieving in itself.
Yeah.
You're covered.
Yeah. And the other thing
So
for us here is heat, obviously. And this is a hydration pouch, essentially, right? Um,
facts.
so heat is a big issue in this part of the world, especially in the UAE and Saudi and these countries around us. So you must deal with heat. You're on the West Coast, no?
Houston. So
Oh,
yes,
Houston.
no,
Oh, yeah.
it's hot here, and it's hot and humid. So
Yeah.
electrolyte imbalance is always a conversation for sure.
Right. Yeah. So again, so it's all, you don't have to think about electrolytes separately, which is another thing that we haven't mentioned, because the whole electrolyte industry is another minefield, right? So of sugars and colors and all sorts of stuff, right? Well, this has been awesome. So I want to sincerely thank you for your time, for the effort putting into this, to coming and sharing your wisdom and your experience with IM8,
Yeah.
and all the awesome things that you do. I'm going to make sure that people have your profile below this video in
Okay.
whatever captions and wherever it goes. And I hope that one day we get to meet in person,
Oh,
and maybe on one of the IM8 events or something like that.
yes.
But keep doing the amazing work, Coach Mike, and it was
Yes.
such a pleasure to meet you.
Yes.
Have a beautiful rest of the day.
Dr. Elie, thank you for having me, and thank you for fighting the good fight. Keep helping these people grow and become the best version of themselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Well, here you go, guys. This was Becoming Limitless with Coach Mike. See you next time. Stay kind to each other, please.